Hi. Today I will I will discuss my master's dissertation that I did in 2004 from Central Institute of English and Foreign Languages, which is now known as English and Foreign Language University. Now, why I would like to talk about my master's dissertation, particularly which I did in 2004, because I think that new and young researchers, particularly master's students who are writing their dissertation in the fourth semester, they will get benefited from my video, and this video will help them to select their topic appropriately for their master dissertation. In my master's dissertation, I selected the topic title, The Study of Ellipsis in Hindi and English Short Stories. Now, what type of research is this when I have selected two languages? And when I say two languages, then at least two writers. I selected one Hindi writer, Munshi Premchand, who is a very famous Hindi writer. And from the English language, I selected Ernest Hemingway. And two short stories, and these two languages, and there is a comparison. So one way is you can consider this work as a comparative study where we have two languages and we have two writers. From Munshi Premchand's work, I selected the short story Jaado. The meaning in English is magic. So first I translated this story from Hindi into English, and from Hemingway's work I selected the short story titled Hills Like White Elephant. A very fine story. You can consider it as a masterpiece by Ernest Hemingway, and if you have not read this story, I would recommend that you should go and read this. In this work, I have not compared these stories in terms of plot or what goes on in this story. But since the topic is a study of English and Hindi short stories in terms of finding out the elliptical phrases, elliptical words, and elliptical use of clauses in the sentence. So that was my focus of the work. First of all, what is ellipsis? Ellipsis is substitution by zero. Certain language element, linguistic aspects are missing in the language, but meaning is understood. And why meaning is understood and how meaning is understood? Because from the context, reader, the audience, gets to know about the meaning that is hidden. So ellipsis is not substitution, and there is no reference, let's say overt reference, open reference that this is referred to this. Only from the context you will come to know about the meaning. So ellipsis is based on the economy principle. And what is this economy principle? That we want to say minimum and we want to express maximum. So taking this concept, I compared these two languages and these two writers. You may cross question that why I have selected one writer, Munshi Premchand, from the Hindi language, and another Ernest Hemingway from the English language. Because once you read Munshi Premchand's story, then particularly this story Jaado, meaning magic, you will find that this story is written in Hemingway's style. Now, what is this Hemingway's style? Hemingway's style is crisp. Hemingway's style is plain. So you will find very minimum or no use of adjectives and unnecessary adverbs in Hemingway writing. Similarly, in the work of Munshi Premchand, you won't find misuse of adjectives and adverbs. It is in very plain language. So it is considered a staccato work that is very crisp, very plain in its style. So this similarity, this surface level similarity I found in the work of Munshi Premchand and also in the work of Ernest Hemingway. And this became my motivation to select two writers from different cultures, from different languages. And what type of comparative study I did with reference to ellipses. So I categorized these ellipses in three types. E1. E1 type ellipsis is ellipses with coordinators. So coordinators you have and, or, but. So wherever these coordinators are used, I have selected those phrases or those clauses and I categorize them into E1 type. Then second is E2 type, where subject is missing or subject or auxiliary is missing, or let's say subject and verb is missing. That is E2 type. And finally the E3 type, where there is either entirely the language is missing or there is some sort of substitution, like substitution by pronoun, substitution by using an anaphor or other type of substitution that we have. So these three broad categories I have used, and what I found that E3 type ellipsis, E3 type means that when there is a substitution in terms of pronoun or anaphor, that was maximum in English language. And in Hindi language, in the Hindi story, E2 type, when there is a subject is missing or where there is subject or auxiliary or verb is missing, that type was the maximum one. And when we have this comparison between these two, then we find that E1 type, that is ellipsis with coordinator, was 3 times higher in English language. And when it comes to Hindi language, then E2, ellipsis of subject element, auxiliary or verb, that was 4 times higher than the English language in Hindi, I found. Now one thing I would like to emphasize, that in ellipsis, since the syntax is missing but meaning is understood from the context, therefore we can consider ellipsis not as a syntactic unit but as a semantic unit. So this was my master's dissertation titled A Study of Ellipsis in Hindi and English Short Stories, and I hope that you must have got some insight from my experience from this work, and I hope that once you select your dissertation topic, or the younger researchers when they undertake a task of conducting research, they will select their topic quite carefully. This dissertation, after a few years, it was published in an international journal, a reputed one. So I would like that once you conduct any type of research in different phases of your life, do a work in a manner that is publishable in a good journal. Thank you all. Thank you for watching.